Hi guys! I know it's been a while since I last made a video. I have just been working a lot, and I mean a lot. Yeah, that's it, that's my excuse. Anyways, I am here today to talk about one of my newest favourite things in the world. I am kind of new to this fandom, but at the same time I've been here a little while as well. I'll explain in a second, but I'm going to talk about my love for RuPaul's Drag Race. This is quite a polarising show, I feel. I feel like people absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. I haven't really heard anyone just be like, oh, it's okay. It's usually one extreme or the other. Just to really add to the theme of talking about this TV show, I decided to wear all green on my face because I know how much Michelle Visage loves it. So, hello. So yeah, basically, my friend told me about this show and she was like, I know how much you love America's Next Top Model, and it's kind of like Top Model but with drag queens. Like, it's kind of like what they would have to do if they did a top model type show. And I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to look into this and see what it's like. And about a year ago, I watched season 6, season 7, and then season 1. That may seem like a strange way to do it, but those were the only 3 seasons that I could get online. Because it wasn't, at least I didn't know if it was aired in the UK at that point. And I didn't have Netflix either, and I loved it. I loved those 3 seasons. Season 6 is actually my favourite. I don't know if it's because it's the first season I ever saw, so it's kind of like stuck to my heart, because I know a lot of people say that 4 is their favourite because it was like the one that got them into the show, but for me season 6 is my favourite. And I tried to find other episodes and I just couldn't get any like working full playlists. I'd get like occasional odd episodes and I thought, I'm not watching just a random episode. So when we got Netflix, I was like, right, I am going to watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm glad I watched season 1 because it isn't on Netflix, at least not in the UK. I don't know if it is in America. But so I'm glad I'd already seen season 1 because I knew about that one anyway, so that was great. And then I watched season 2 to season 9, all in the space of time that season 9 was being aired. I binged it, like I watched it so much. Some series I pretty much watched like in a day, and then I watched the All-Stars seasons. Actually, I think I watched the All-Stars seasons whilst I was waiting for the last few episodes of season 9. But the All-Stars seasons were the last ones that I watched. I found them last because they're not on, again, at least in the UK, they're not on Netflix. And so I had to kind of find them a bit dodgily on YouTube because there isn't a way to watch them in the UK, basically. I would happily legally watch these things if they were there, but they're not. So, you know, sorry, that's how I watched it. And I am in love. Like, I love this show so much. It's one of my favourite things. So I'm just going to go through some opinions and see, you can talk to me if you agree, let me know, and we'll have a nice little discussion about a TV show that I am late on the bandwagon to, but I am so glad that I am finally on that bandwagon. So I'm sure everyone wants to know, because I think this is like everyone's initial question, is who are your favourites? I have 3 favourites, at least like top favourites. I have lots of favourites actually, but my 3 like all-time faves are Bianca Del Rio, of course, Latrice Royale, and Katja. I can't pronounce her surname because nobody can, but I love all 3 of those queens, and so they are my all-time faves. They're all funny. I like the comedy ones. I appreciate the fishy, like pretty realistic looking queens. I appreciate that, and I've liked some of them, but they're never my favourites because I like the funny girls, I really do. I've always been someone who's liked like the funny stuff. I've never really been too serious, so they're usually my favourites, are the funniest ones in every season. I usually end up absolutely loving Puerto Rican girls as well. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they take it so seriously, but they're so fun-loving and comedy at the same time that I can really appreciate them. And I also have this little bit of an obsession with Raja because she was a he in America's Next Top Model. He was Sutan, the makeup artist for the show, and I of course was obsessed with Top Model, so as soon as I saw Raja on Drag Race I was like, please win because I love you so much. And it's like two of my fandoms came together, which is amazing, and I would love to see Raja talk about stories from Top Model because I've seen her talk about Drag Race a lot, but really Top Model was kind of what put her out there in the public eye and kind of helped her get out and about, because there's some rumours that she already knew RuPaul and whatever, but like Top Model was the first TV show and I would watch hours and hours of stories from Raja's perspective, well, Sutan's perspective. So if you know anything, if you know any interviews or anything where he really goes into Top Model, please let me know and I will watch them, because yes, please, I just need my full fandom fix in. Like I said, I think that season 6 is the best season. I love it. I just think they got the right chemistry of all the different queens. I think they just got it right, and that all the different personalities matched or meshed or clashed in the right ways, that it made excellent television. And even though the winner was obvious pretty much from the second you saw her, at least in my eyes, her and Raja are the two winners that when I first saw them I instantly wanted them to win, and I was kind of like, they're probably gonna. So I don't know if that's how everyone else sees it, but that's, for me, it was Bianca all the way, and I love her so much. And I've seen her movie Hurricane Bianca, I've seen her comedy special The Rolodex of Hate. I've watched a lot. Like, I have watched a lot. I have binged so much drag queenness. I've watched most of the videos on the World of Wonder YouTube. I am watching a lot of episodes of Hey Queen. I'm slowly getting through it. I love Lady Red Couture as well, but she's not a drag racer, but she wants to be, and I think we should let her on the show because she's amazing. So yeah, I am really I am so sucked into this world, and I have just thrust myself into this fandom so hard. Yes, anyways, I've made some notes of things I want to talk about, and let's get back onto that. My least favourite queens, both from All Stars 2. I didn't like them in their original seasons, but All Stars 2 just made me realise I really don't like them. And that's Fifi O'Hara, because she is just not a very nice person, and Roxy Andrews. Roxy, I didn't like how nasty she was getting in season 5. I think she's great at the whole female illusion part of drag, but that's it. That's as far as she goes. I don't think she's funny. I don't think she's got any other talents, you know, like how a lot of them have got acting or comedy or singing. Roxy Andrews is just really good at looking nice. And people who say that she should have been the winner of season 5, no, she shouldn't have even been top 3, and she definitely shouldn't have been top 4 in All Stars. I think this is more of the reason why I really don't like her, is because she kept getting saved and saved and saved, when really it should have been Alyssa or Tatiana in the top 4. I think I would just tweak Tatiana over, because that TLC look, that T-Boz, yes, that was everything. And I just really like her. I think that she kind of got a rough cut of the show because she got eliminated when it wasn't really who should have been both times. Same with Alyssa. Anyways, yes, moving on. I'm going to keep going on about Roxy Andrews. Roxy Andrews is probably my least favourite of all of them for that reason, because she didn't have any other talents. I'm not saying she's bad at looking like a woman, because she's not. She's good. And she has lovely costumes, and I believe she makes costumes, and so she's really good at that. But that was it. She didn't fulfill any other challenge. So yes, that annoyed me. Another thing I want to talk about is how people think season 7 is really bad and one of the worst seasons of the show. I don't think that at all. I really like season 7. and it gave us a lot of really memorable queens, even if at the time we don't think it did. I think that RuPaul's Drag Race went down season 8 and season 9. Season 8, I didn't really care about anybody other than Kim Chi. Though afterwards, since I've watched so much since, I've watched a lot of panels and interviews and things with Bob, and Bob is an amazing person, and I wish we'd seen that more on the show, because I really love her now. Like, I just wish that we'd got more from Bob on the personality front in the show. I don't know, on the show I just didn't care, whereas now that I've seen her do lots of interviews and things, she just seems like a really nice person. So I don't know if it's how she was cut on the show, if the E word is getting used to editing, but for me, I needed to see Bob in her own environment, I guess. And season 9, I don't really know how to explain season 9. I didn't care about anybody. Like, I don't have any real favourite, and I enjoyed it still, because, you know, it's still a really addictive show that I love, but I just didn't really care about anybody. And then when that reunion show happened, I just, like, you're all horrid, like, you're all horrible people. And I wouldn't have voted anyone Miss Congeniality, because they were just all arguing, and they were all, well, not all of them, there were some of them who didn't even say anything. So I guess, like, James Mansfield is my favourite one for not really piping up in all those arguments. I'm not so fussed about the whole outcome of the lip sync final. I think the person who put the most effort into the lip syncs did win, and I understand that people believe that Shay was robbed. Shay was great on the show, like, she did a lot of really good challenge work, and it did look like she was going to win, but in the final lip syncs she didn't do anything. Like, I don't know if it's the way that it was filmed, so we didn't really see her doing stunts, or what's stunts, like good moves or anything, but she just seemed to just be there. Like, she didn't seem to do anything, whereas all 3 of the other queens just seemed to be, like, really going for it. So maybe it's because she thought she had it in the bag, I don't know. But so, whilst I understand where people are coming from, I'm really not too fussed, because I didn't really like anyone. And that's a shame. I think a lot of people who've said that Eureka is probably the best person from season 9, but she's now going to be a season 10 girl. I kind of get it, because I've seen, again, things of Eureka after the show, and she seems lovely. She seems like a delight. But I'm just not really bothered about anyone else from that season, if anyone. I got sick of Cynthia Lee Fontaine. I didn't mind her in season 8, but I really just could not be bothered with her in season 9. I liked it when they spoke about the Pulse nightclub thing. Like, that was a nice heart-filled moment for them all, but they all just turned me off in that reunion show. Like, sorry, I just couldn't cope. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the way the show is going, because I know a lot of people think it got worse from season 7, but I believe it's 8 and 9. A lot of people say they don't really like All Stars 1 either, and I kind of get it, but I did enjoy it as well. I don't like the fact that they made them team up for the whole show, and that once one queen was gone, another queen was gone, because some of the teams were like one queen that I really loved, and then someone I wasn't that bothered about, or someone who I just kind of liked. And you know, if one's really good at something and the other one's not, it's just, I don't know, it wasn't a very good way to do it. And the season, All Star season 2, I didn't like the fact that Ru sent no one home. It was obvious that they were all just going to keep picking their friends and saving their friends. People were saying that Alyssa was being horrible, but she was actually right. Like, she was saying, you know, who keeps performing. It's not Roxy, that's who it's not, but you keep saving her. See, All Stars 2 is probably my second favourite season, and it's definitely the one that I feel the most passionate about, because it was literally everyone saving Roxy every week and all the good queens going home. So I do feel quite strongly about that. And yeah, so I think the All-Star, so we need an All-Star season where it's the same format as the normal season, so that people can actually go home and that there's no pressure to perform with another queen unless it's like a group challenge, but then you get judged individually anyway. And I don't know. I don't want the gimmicky bits of the eliminations. I just want Ru to pick whoever lip synced to stay, whoever lip synced best to stay, and whoever didn't to go. And you know, that's the format of the show that I like. Keep it that way, please. Another thing that has been coming up recently is Miss Congeniality just fan favourite, and yes, I think it is a big factor. It's fan favourite, but other than this last one, I don't think any of the queens they've voted for Miss Congeniality were particularly nasty or you know, not congenial in the slightest, or you know, bitchy or whatever. They all were at least relatively nice, and that's why they were fan favourites. So I understand the argument, especially, you know, with Valentina winning it this time around. I really got turned off Valentina in that reunion show, because I did initially think she was going to win, because, you know, I think we all did, because of the whole Aja, you're beautiful, you're a model, you're Linda Evangelista, because of all that. But yeah, just that did set off the debate, and I understand this debate and why people might be upset because the fan favourite is winning and not maybe the nicest queen is winning. But I do think that this is the only time where the winner wasn't even nice at all. Like, a lot of people say, for example, that Katya shouldn't have won because she was just fan favourite, but there's moments like when she's talking to Fame about being sober, where you see that, you know, she's a very vulnerable soul, and that she turned to the other girls for help and strength. I mean, I know that's not her being particularly nice, but like, it just meant that she cared about the other girls in a way, if you see what I mean. And she was never horrible to anyone. Like, I don't think Katya ever really got into any arguments or anything. She just tried to have a laugh with everybody. She was a nice person, maybe not the nicest queen in the entire season, but she was at least nice. So yeah, I understand the argument and I get it, and maybe it should just be called fan favourite, or, you know, some sort of fan favourite-esque title, but that's for RuPaul to decide, I guess. It's not really down to us. It's, you know, well, Ru and the television studios and the, you know, people, all the people up there in the TV world. It's for all those to decide. We don't really have much of a say, so you just got to take it for what it is. Yes, so that one of the things that I don't want to say dislike, because it's not that I dislike it, but one of the things that I miss about RuPaul's Drag Race is Santino, and I'm kind of a little bit upset that he is no longer a permanent judge. I don't know if there's any commitments that he had to leave for, or if there was a drama and a fallout or anything, but I really miss Santino, and I miss him and Michelle bickering like brother and sister and getting into all these little petty arguments over which queens they believed should say or go. I loved him being on the show and I miss him. I do think he should be back on the show. So yeah, can you please bring Santino back if that's possible? That'd be great. I'm not really bothered about Carson Kressley or Ross Matthews. Like, they're fine for, like, you know, the other panel member with the main two, you know, if you want someone to come back on a regular basis, swap between those two. Oh, and oh, his name's gone. Todrick Hall? Yes, Todrick Hall, I think. Yeah, and him too. Like, him and those two could, like, cycle out every few episodes. They can all have a go each. That's fine. But I would rather have Santino and Michelle permanently there with RuPaul. And then, like, you know, they always have, like, a celebrity guest. That's cool. That's great. Keep doing that. That's fun. So yeah, this is kind of all my thoughts and my feels on this new fandom that I've really sucked myself into. I'm actually going to see Jinx Monsoon near the end of the year, and I've just seen that there is Katya doing her own show coming next year, so I think I'm going to buy a ticket for that. That's exciting, and I do want to get more into the drag world because I do actually know a drag queen, like in real life, like we're friends, we've spoken, and you know, we like Snapchat each other and stuff, you know, all the fun things you do. And I really appreciate what they do, and I've like been to Pride events and things, watched drag queens, and I've always enjoyed it. It's always been fun. It's always been a world that I have been interested in, and now I'm just really glad that I can suck myself into this world, and I've got this huge fandom, and it's something that everyone's talking about. I've got lots of friends who like it, and yeah, I just hope that we can chat about it some more. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the show. If you're maybe getting into it and you're a newbie, maybe you can tell me how you feel as the show goes along. I've been getting my sisters into the show and my mum. Only one of my sisters has really continued watching it. My mum and my sister kind of just watch it with me when they come over. But my youngest sister, I think she's on series 4 now. And she's been kind of getting into it, and she's been telling me like how she feels the stuff's been going on, which is great. I love talking about this show. And yeah, this has basically filled the void that America's Next Top Model left in my life when it died, because I don't believe it's come back. I don't think I will give the new series a try. I just can't root for Rita Ora, and now Tyra's coming back and claiming that she's like part of the show all over again, and I'm just like, it was dead. It was kind of dead when you brought the men in. I didn't really watch those seasons. It was kind of dead when you did the whole college thing. Anyways, yeah, I'm moving on to another show now. But yeah, so this is my newest fandom. I needed to talk about it, and I would love it if you talk back with me about this show. Tell me your thoughts and opinions. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.